So, scouting combine.
Yes.
The metric you've never heard of.
Go ahead.
Explosion factor. Do you know what the explosion factor is?
Oh, God. You've told me about this.
I have.
But please entertain the fans.
Okay. Explosion factor.
All 7 of you, listen up.
Explosion factor is broad jump
Yes.
plus bench press
Okay.
plus what? Think vertical, correct.
Yes.
So for defensive linemen, you're looking at a 70. You add all them together. Don't divide, just you add them all together. The score you're looking for a defensive lineman is about 70.
I mean, you add them. I don't understand.
That's it. You take those 3 numbers and you add them together. And your goal is to get...
So it's the amount of reps on bench.
Yep.
The inches of the vertical.
Yep.
And the
broad.
Inches of the broad jump? Feet.
No, feet of broad jump. Because you figure if a good broad jump is 8 feet, right?
The feet of you're saying it is the feet of the broad jump.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I'm about to say because I did.
No, because if it were broad jump, like David Johnson had a 127.5 inch broad jump.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So that number is not reasonable. No, it's feet. So if you get to 70, that's like an elite number. Anything above 60 or 65 is good, but anything at 70 is like elite. It's primarily used for, positions that require power, like that transition of power to force, right?
So basically what they're saying is if you go 9, 30, 30,
yep,
then you're a pretty good defensive.
That's elite.
Okay, so that means 9 feet on the broad jump.
Yep.
30 reps on the bench and 30-inch vertical.
Right. Yeah.
Gotcha.
You get to
All
70.
Right. Go ahead.
That's it. So
right, I got you.
Like this number is just not often talked about because it's a conglomerate. There's a couple problems with it, right? One, not all guys do all 3 of those events.
Yeah.
Right. So like running backs don't always do the bench because they don't.
Why?
What's a running back going to do on the bench, right? A tackle might not do the vert.
True.
So there are some problems with the metric because it's not uniform, but for the most part, if you can get guys measured up on those 3,
yeah,
you can quickly determine who's going to have the biggest start-to-stop power. Because there's no real measure of that, right? There's no way that the NFL Combine measures force. This is as close as you can get to measuring start-stop force of a player, right? So for an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman, that's really important. That's what your whole job is determined off that initial impact and how much you can generate. So that's what this metric is.
Does it take weight into account?
It does not take weight, height, none of that into account.
I'm just trying to say, because if you have a guy that's let's say 6'8", 330, he's got an 8-foot broad jump. You got a guy that's 6'5", 300, he does a 9-foot. I'm taking the 8-footer. Well, that seems like he has more explosion.
Right, but remember, on the explosion factor, that's only one additional point. So that other guy does 1 extra rep and they're even. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
As I said, it's not a perfect metric, but it's kind of cool. So the reason I bring it up,
because Stephen P would have tested off the charts.
Right. There's some guys that are just workout warriors. Name one workout warrior. First one that comes off the top of your head.
Tebow
was a workout warrior. Yeah, but I'm talking about the NFL scouting combine. One.
I can't think of anybody.
No.
I was laughing too much at Tebow.
Tim Tebow.
Go ahead. Who's your workout warrior?
Vern Golston. Remember him?
Oh yeah.
Workout warrior.
Yes.
Right. Explosion factor off the charts. As I said, it's not a perfect metric, but it's kind of cool. That's that evil P word. Don Terry Poe was the same way.
He was a monster.
He was a monster at the combine. You look, you go, hey, he's a little.
He ran like a 4.2 something. Everyone lost their mind. Oh wait, anybody that the Raiders drafted in the last 15 years.
Yeah, runs a 4.2.
He runs a 4.2. Let's sign him up. Darius Hayward-Bay. There's a guy that increased his draft stock because of the combine.
Yeah, that's often what happens. These guys put down these obscene numbers, and you go back and you watch. And that's the thing you have to be careful about with watching the scouting combine is justifying their production on the field. You have to look at their scouting combine numbers and then go back and watch the film and say, okay, is what I'm seeing really legit? Because not every player goes to the scouting combine.
No. The guys that get invited to the combine, like the quote-unquote sleepers, those are the guys that... Because I think the scouting combine, I mean, you made fun of the Wonder Lick, it's more mental than it is physical, because you got to think about when's the season end for these guys? Around December, January, right? Yeah, they play maybe in a bowl game. Maybe they don't. And then almost 2.5 months later, they're going to be tested. All right, you ran this at the beginning of the season. You weighed this at the beginning of the season. This is what you weigh now. This is what you're running. Do you have the dedication and work ethic in order to keep all that stuff up? That's the one thing. If they have a guy that ends up just being a workout warrior and showing stuff off the charts at the combine, that speaks to the guy. Listen, we don't know yet if he's a workout warrior or he really wants it.
Yeah.
So he's willing to put in this much work and do all that. That's a guy you usually want on your team.
Right.
So those are the 5th, 6th round flyers that people take every once in a while. Oh, from Directional University, they got this guy, and he ends up climbing up the depth chart. And ends up, who's this guy? He was a 6th rounder. He's starting at safety now. God, he's a monster. And then you look back at his combine numbers, you're like, why didn't anybody else draft him?
Right. And there's some guys that hurt or helped their stock at the combine. David Johnson.
Oh,
David
God.
Johnson's explosion factor was off the charts because I love David Johnson, so of course I know all about him. I know
you called me up. Usually I get a text message about the combine.
Yeah.
You called, dude, David Johnson's going to be a monster.
Yeah.
2 years later, he was like the best running back.
What'd I tell you? David Johnson was the best running back in that class, period, the end. I said it then. Thank God we have...
Was that the Gordon one? Gordon Gurley?
Was that the Gordon? That was the Gordon Gurley draft.
He was in the 3rd round.
He was 3rd rounder in that draft. I still stand by David Johnson as the best running back in that class. I know Gurley was a monster this year. Anyway, if you use explosion factor as an important metric, David Johnson blew everybody away.
Yes.
Because he is an animal. He is a fast start animal. But you still have to go back and watch film. When you watch the combine, what's the one position that you get like giddy to watch?
I always like watching the linebackers, and the way that I do it is I equate different drills with different players.
Okay.
So you got the 20-yard shuttle.
Yeah.
That's mainly for me. That's for linebackers.
Yep.
Okay. How is your lateral movement?
Mm-hmm.
Can you get sideline to sideline? Okay, I understand that. The 40, obviously, everyone. That's
a sexy number.
That's the money event. But for
Yeah.
me, a 4.4 and a 4.6 is just like a start time. Okay, if I have a wide receiver that's running a 4.4 and a cornerback that runs a 4.6, if the cornerback's already running backwards, I mean, unless you got a guy like Tyreek Hill, that's just unfair. But yeah, like you talk about the bench, that's purely O-line, D-line. Can you get somebody off you, or can you hold somebody back? The bench also, or the vertical and the broad jump you talk about all the time. That's the explosion factor. So if a guy happens to run a 4.6, but he has like an 11-inch broad jump, he can get his get off is very quick.
You mean 11-foot broad jump? An 11-inch broad jump.
Did I say?
I think I could broad jump 11 inches.
Anyway, but yeah, like 11 foot. So or like a 40-inch vert. That speaks to, like you said, the explosion factor. Those are guys that can get off the ball quickly. So those are your DNs. Those are your rush linebackers. Can he get off the ball quickly? When we talk about it too, obviously a lot of cornerbacks. I guess if something that I look at all the time is a lot of the cornerbacks will always run around the same time 40 times. Yeah. And then I look at the bench after that.
See, can they fight? Do they have the strength to fight?
Can they jam somebody up at the line? That's the one thing. And it's, conversely, when we talked about Zay Jones last year, he did what, 225 like 8 times?
Mm-hmm.
Getting off the press coverage was going to be his problem, which he had a problem with.
Yep.
And that speaks to that as well.
Well, and you could see that on film too. And
yeah, like you said,
you could tell that he wasn't getting the best separation. The scouting combine just confirmed that strength is a bit of an issue for him, as far that play strength of being able to leverage his body. He just, there's not a lot of strength there. He needs to generate separation different ways. The scouting combine just backed that up.
The thing I guess the point that you said, what do I get giddy about? I don't get the thing I hate is when people come out of the combine and start talking about quarterbacks with no rush.
Yeah.
Dropping dimes everywhere to all these guys.
Yep.
That just annoys me to no end. Like, you have zero rush in your face. You have to make zero reads. They tell you the route he's doing, and you have to throw it there. Okay. Maybe that works for some of these guys that are in a spread.
Mm-hmm.
Can he make all the throws? That's all it tells you. It doesn't tell you anything about the guy's IQ, how he can make reads or anything like that. It just annoys the piss out of me. Oh my God, did you see this one guy? He was dropping dimes. And then you look at, I know you always talk about looking at the wide receivers that catch it away from their body all the time.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one for me. You know, is when they're running drills, how inside do they let their hands get? That's why, like, unfortunately, I equate a lot of, you know, what we do to fantasy football.
That's fine.
Right? So there's guys that I see and then we'll pay attention to, and then if their name's on the board when fantasy football time comes, I'm like, yeah, that guy, he lets that ball get too far inside. I'm just gonna pass. You know, like that's what happens. It's
blurring the lines.
Yeah, so it does get to me. But I just remember watching Jalen Strong and Nelson Aguilar. These guys are just chest catching every pass, and they still go early. Like, why are you taking these guys early? And then you wonder why they struggle. Yeah, no, you're not. You can't coach that out of them. Not when they're 22, 21, 22. You can't. You're not coaching alligator arms out of anybody. They're out there catching like Tom Brady.